Hi, I'm TeriLeigh, and I want to talk to you now about my methodology and philosophy towards education. I believe that education is about finding what you already know in yourself and pulling it out of yourself. In fact, the word education comes from the Latin root educare, which means to pull forth from within. You're filled with a wealth of information gathered in your brain from years of experience walking this planet. All the different things you've experienced is logged in your brain somewhere, as well as the collective wisdoms of all your ancestors and all the people that came before you that's coded into your DNA. That's a lot of knowledge. That's a lot of wisdom, all just floating around inside your skull and inside your nervous system. Quality education offers an opportunity, a variety of opportunities for you to dig inside what you already know and pull those truths out from deep inside. The intention I have is to engage you, to really activate you through the power of story, to pull the wisdom that lives inside you, teach you how to think and use that knowledge so that you can pay it forward and teach others. My goal as a teacher is always to teach myself out of a job. I taught high school for 10 years, and when my kids would come back after high school, that meant they didn't graduate and I didn't do my job. I always want to teach you so that you can move on and not need me anymore because you know it in yourself. So I use also a brain training approach. For years, I've been reading and studying neuroplasticity, neuroscience, and brain training and the best practices in education based on how the brain works and learns. Because that's what a good teacher does. My well-designed lessons and activities train your brain to think the way the brain best learns, through simplicity, repetition, interactivity, and conscious practical tasks that can be applied to your everyday life. Our methodology is based on neuroscience research, how to train and rewire your brain through simple, repetitive practice exercises that seamlessly blend into your everyday life, making new patterns become automatic habits. For example, simplicity is the first step. As Albert Einstein said, the best teachers are those who can take a complex topic and break it down to the simplest of terms. The human brain likes simplicity and learns best when lessons are presented in the most basic form, in a practical, step-by-step format. My lessons are very, very short and very simple steps. In fact, the videos of the lessons are never more than 7 minutes. Sometimes they're even just 3 minutes. And you do one video at a time. Practice with that. Work with that. Work with that one tiny little skill until you become somewhat of a master on it. And then the next lesson takes that first one, builds it into the next one, so you're practicing both at the same time. And you're learning and mastering the second skill as part of the first, and then moving on to the third, and so forth, just in little building blocks, one step at a time. Then, to really drive it in, repetition is important. To become really good at anything, you have to practice and repeat until the technique becomes intuitive. Paulo Coelho said that. The human brain requires a minimum of 7 repetitions of something in order to remember it. That means 7 times something has to go into your brain for your brain to say, oh, that's kind of significant. 7 times before your brain recognizes it as key. Then you have to repeat it 70 times to be able to accurately repeat it and redo that skill. 70 times to do it properly. Then 700 repetitions and it becomes automatic. Our practice exercises are so simple that they're broken into 3 or 30-second exercises, anywhere from 3 to 30 seconds. So not very long, not very extensive, but very short, very simple things that you can integrate into your everyday life. Assignments that are not set aside a half an hour to do your homework, but rather do your practice exercise many, many times throughout your day and attach those things that you're doing to regular everyday things you do in your everyday life. Attach something to every time you step in the bathroom. Attach something else to every time you get in your car. That way, your brain is remembering because it's already attaching it to something that's already a habit, and then it's turning into a habit because you're doing it more often. The more often you don't set aside, the more often you do your homework attached to other things in your everyday life, the more it becomes an everyday life habit. Then our lessons are also very interactive. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I remember. Involve me and I learn. Benjamin Franklin said that. You only learn 10% of what you read. So if I had you just read this page, you would just learn 10% of it. But having me speak it to you, say it to you, bumps it up to about 30%. You're 30% likely to remember this. But if you were to do it, and you actually go through the lessons and you embody it in your body, do something with it, then you're more likely to learn 75% of it. And if you go ahead and teach someone else, your likelihood of learning is 90%. All of the lessons that we offer are complete body, mind, spirit integration. That means that they require you to think, also to do something physical, and to breathe. That's the spirit piece. Thinking, doing, and breathing, body, mind, spirit, it's fully interactive. It's through your whole body system. 75% chance that you're going to learn it better. When your body is fully engaged in your learning, the lessons move through your entire nervous system. They go from your brain down to your limbs and back to your brain again. And your breath is pumping it through every blood corpuscle in your whole being, teaching you not only to understand the concepts, but to be able to practice, assume them as part of your soul and your heart and your tissues. Then you've got to practice them. Practice puts brains in your muscles. Sam Snead said that. That guy was smart, because when you practice, the thoughts in your brain run down your nervous system into your tissues, into your hands, into your feet, into your toes, into your body. But even more so, if you think while you do, if you pay attention, your brain maps the neurological pathways better when you pay attention to your actions. Our lessons are designed to keep your brain focused and conscious and paying attention to the sensations and changes and subtle adjustments in your body. So in those 7-minute lessons, we'll get you thinking and feeling and doing. Thinking and feeling and doing. Thinking and feeling and doing. And really paying attention to what's going on in that process. That makes you very conscious of what's happening as a result of your exercise. Then we give you the practical practice homework exercises to reinforce what you just learned and what you just patterned in your nervous system. That conscious learning during your class turns into conscious practice in the first couple days. And after a couple days, that conscious paying attention becomes more second nature. And then after a couple weeks, it almost becomes automatic. When your brain and your body talk to each other and pay attention, everything works better. So our process we go through in each lesson is a simple step-by-step process. We start with, what are you going to learn? And we get you all excited and activated about what you're going to learn through story. You'll become aware and present to what you will learn in the lesson through the power of a story. The stories of life, they'll trip the triggers of your heart. You'll feel deeply through the hearing and knowing and penetration of those stories, whether they're trauma or tragedy, triumph or transformation, because those are the times with the most emotion, and emotion pulls hormones through your body, and hormones make you feel something. Every lesson starts with a story to activate the memories in your mind and send them through the tenderness of your tissues to make you feel engaged, because feeling, that fully alive feeling to what you learn, is what makes you want to go and do and learn more. The stories make you feel, and when you fully feel, you're more involved, more empathetic, more passionate, more engaged, and more excited about your learning process. Once you're really excited about learning, we bring you to the second step, which is how. You'll learn how to make those lasting changes in your life with those simple step-by-step 7-minute or less lessons that we offer. The lessons are designed to be integrated into everyday life, embodied into your mind and your physicality. For the best results, we recommend you complete only one lesson per day. That's only 7 minutes per day. a 7-minute video on how to do something. During that lesson, we provide a handout for the lesson, and it follows the process of the lesson. And we ask you to take notes and write down what you are learning in your own words. Because as you write, you connect both sides of your brain, sending the information up and down your arm, from your brain to your hand, and your hand to your brain, and back again. And that gets you more embodied, more engaged. We recommend that you use the old-fashioned pen and paper, not just computer typing, because the process of forming letters on paper uses specific parts of your brain that activate memory and learning. While some of our lessons may seem repetitive and redundant, the method to that madness is that the more a message as a lesson is repeated, and the more you write it down, and the more you repeat it to yourself by writing it down and practicing it, the more the brain digs grooves into your memory, and it becomes accessible and automatic. Then, step 3 is why. Once you've learned what you're doing and how to do it, you want to know why you do it. Discover the why of the practice and the exercises by understanding the simple science, the research, the case studies, the proof, the anatomy, the physiology of what's going on behind the lesson. When you understand why something is good for you, your brain sends hormones into your body to make you crave that benefit even more. It's called dopamine. The curious mind is then becoming more active, and the more active your mind is, the more it learns, and the more your brain understands why something is the way it is, the more curious it becomes about other aspects. The more it fires, and the more it grows, and it finds more connections, and the more engaged it becomes. That's real learning. So know why. Once you understand what you're learning, how to learn it, how to do it, how to engage it in your life, and why you want to apply it into your everyday life, then we go on to when. When do you apply it in your life? In practice. Learn when to integrate the simple exercises into your everyday life by attaching the habits to something else you've already done as habit to create a new healthy habit. When you apply new actions to already formed everyday habits, things like brushing your teeth or checking your email or going to the bathroom, those new actions become more likely to become automatic because they're linked to something that's already automatic and triggering those parts of your brain. For example, if you learn to take a deep, focused breath every single time you wash your hands, not only are you taking a deep, focused breath more often and calming your nervous system with that breath more often in your day, but you're also telling your brain to do that action every time you're around water or a sink. And then it becomes automatic that you come to a sink and you take a deep breath. Imagine how your life would be that way. Eventually, it becomes habit, and on top of that, your brain will tell your body to initiate a deep, focused breath other times when it needs it, because it's become part of your normal system. So we tell you when to try practicing a regular, simple 3 to 30-second exercise, what to apply it to in your everyday life, and then it becomes habit. So we promise you, in this online learning program, your video lessons are less than 7 minutes each. They are so simple and so short that the whole course of a day, just learning the how, the what story time, the how lesson, the benefits, and the when, the what, how, why, and when, takes maybe 12 to 15 minutes per day. It's not a very big day, just in the morning, a little tiny chunk out of your day. You'll also get downloadable worksheets that you can follow along as you learn, writing down what you learn so that you can remember it through your nervous system. You'll get pre- and post-test surveys to track your progress. What were you like before taking the class, and what are you like after taking the class? How have you improved? Through that, because it's health and wellness focused, and because it's about healing yourself from the inside out, you will improve your overall health, your clarity, your focus, and your body function instantly because you are training your brain. You'll learn how, why, and when to perform these exercises, and you will change your life. Because training your brain to break bad habits and creating normal, healthy, new habits makes all the difference in tiny little increments. That's our methodology. We won't teach you anything you don't already know. We'll just help you train yourself to make it habit and pull it out of yourself in ways you didn't know it was there.